Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I welcome you to my new amazing tutorial. In this tutorial, I am going to explain about our last video, that is movie search app. So I have told in the last video that I am going to explain about our movie search application. So in this video I am going to explain about our code, how I have written and how it going to work. So you have seen that in last video that here is the search bar. When you click on search, you'll get the all the movie list, and we have a previous and next button. So click on next button, so it will display the next page. And when you click on any movies, so it will load the movie details, and we have a back button also to back to the same page. And when you click on this header, you'll go to the home page. So this project that I have explained you in the last video, that is I am going to explain you in this video. So before that, if you are new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe us. So first of all, you have to create your app. So how we create your React app? Npx create React app. That is the simple thing you can go and create. Then we have to install Axios. This is the library to fetch the data from the API, and we have a React DOM. So React router DOM. So here we have a React router DOM. So this also we have to install. Then React icons. Then we have a React Toastify and Tailwind CSS. So this package we have to install in our application. So you can go and easily search, and it is very easy to install all these things. So if you don't know this, in my previous projects I have shown you how to install all of these things. So let's come to our project, how our project is going to work. So first of all, you will get a app.js in your movie application. When you create npx create react app, then you will get a app.js. So this is the main part. So here we have importing the react and use state from our react. So what is use state? So use state is used to maintain the state variable. And if you want to know more about the use state, you can go and search use state in React.js. So when you search, it, it allow to add the state to a functional component. So and here we have a official website also. You can go and learn more about use state. So use state is a hook that you allow you to add a state variable to your component. In this we have a state variable and the to update the state, and here we have a initial state. So now we have a react router DOM. So we have to install this also on, that I have told you before. So from this we have to import routes as a browse router. So to set up the path, so I will explain you. So here we have a component navbar. Here you can see that in above, in src folder I have created a folder nav components, and in this folder I have created a file navbar, right? And in src folder we have to create one more folder named pages, and in these pages we have to create home, movie details, search result, these three pages. So after creating, we have to import these three pages and the navbar component. So after importing, we have our app component. In this we have defined some use state variable. So this is the main part, how our app is going to work. So first of all we have to write the state. So in our app component we have to state to hold the list of the movies. So to maintain the movies state, we use state, and in this we have a movies and set movies. So movies is the current state variable, and to update the movies we use set movies, right? Similarly, for the current search term and update the search term, so when you user will search another search, so for that, to hold and maintain the state, and here you can see that the movies is a initial state, we have given a empty array. So why we have given empty array? We'll get not only one movie, we'll get many more movies. So we have a array of objects. So we have given initially that our movie state is empty. Then we have a current page. We have to maintain the state of the current page, right? We have a next, previous. So we have to maintain the state of our pages also. So initially we have a state 1. Now we have a total results. So based on the total results, we have to make the previous and next button. So how many results we have? We have a 10 results or 144 results, anything. So initially our results will be 0. So I will explain all of this in upcoming this components and pages. So let's go to our render, router and routes. So here we have a router component. So here using router we are going to write the path for every component. So initially we have created a div. In this div we have a navbar, right? So navbar is the component that is will common in all the pages. So in the home pages you can see the navbar movie search app, right? And on the search result you can see that then above tab we have a search result page. So in this search result page also we have a movie search app navbar. Okay, in the details page we have a movie search app navbar, right? This navbar component is common in all the pages. So we have made the common for all the pages. So we have not passed any route here. So and routes. So now we have to write the at which path we have to render which component. So at the path slash means at the 3000 we have a running at 3000, right? So at this part we have to render our home page. You can see that we have a home page. See, so at this part we have to render our home page, and in this home page we have a search term, set movies, current or set total. What are these? So these are the props that we have a passed. So this thing, the set search terms, set current page, set total results, so this state, updated state, we are passing to the home component as a props. So these props we are going to use in our pages to update and maintain the state. So similarly for the path search results, so when you go to the search results, let's search. So at the search results, what state we have to pass? So here we have a props movies. So we have a set of movies, right? We have a movies, then we have a search term. So you see that the search term Avengers, right? Then we have a set movies. So according to the our search term it will update the movies list, right? Then we have a current page. So here you can see that the we have a previous and next button, and set current page. So whenever we click on our next and previous button, it will go to the another page. To maintain that and update that state, we are using current page and total results. So based on the total results, we are calculating how many pages will be in our application. So we will see further. Then another route for our movies details, and in this we have id, right? Movie details id, and we have passed the movie details component in this element. So in element we are passing all the, in route component we are passing the path, and at this path what element we are going to see. So this search results component we have passed. So in this page we have a, you can say this is a component or pages also. So that is what is react. So it is a collection of components. So in this we have a pass the props. So these properties we are going to use in our application. What is props? So you can search what is props. So props are some properties. So a special keyword in React that stand for properties, passing data from one component to another component. So we leave these properties in other components like this search results. So we'll see further. So here we have a movie details, and when you click on movie details, with this movie details we are getting something. So this is the idea of this movie. So at this path we are getting the id also. So we have defined this id here in our search url. So how we will get that id, we'll see further in our movie details page. And here we have exported our app component. Now come to the navbar component. So in navbar is common in all the pages, right? So how we can create navbar? So in components folder we have created navbar file, and in this navbar component we have imported our react, and after that we have imported the link from the react router down. So what is link? So like you use anchor tag in html, right? So similarly is link in react. So here we have a navbar component. In this we are returning some jsx. So in our component, in our react, in component we return some jsx, right? So jsx, in this we have a name tag, and in this we have some class name. So we are using tailwind css. So how we style using tailwind css? Using class name. So here define flex, justify between the times, item center, background gray 900, padding rounded. So these are the simple css. So in this video we are going to learn react, not tailwind css. So if you don't know, you can check out. It is very easy to implement and use the tailwind css. And in this navbar we have passed a link to this slash path. So this we have passed for the home page. So whenever we click on movie search, this component will go to the home page. See, we came to the home page, right? So for that we have passed this, we have linked to this slash. So for slash parts, what we have defined? We have defined the home component. So here you can see that the home component we have path slash, right? And then we have exported our navbar component. So after creating you can export. So now come to the home.js page. We have three page: home, movie details, and search results. So we see one by one. So first of all we have imported react and use state from the react, and then we have imported use navigate. So what are the new things we are learning in this video? I'll write it down on the notepad, will open a notepad and I'll make new one. So what we learn here, new things in this video: browser router, router routes. So it's come in browser router only. So browser router. And what are the next we are learning new things? So browser router. After this we are learning use navigate. Use navigate. So, and after that we have imported our Axios, right? We have imported our Axios. So what is Axios? It is a library to fetch the data from the API. So here in our home component, so here we are going to create input state variable. So whenever user types something here, clear here, whenever user types something, it, it should take and maintain the state of our user input. So how it will maintain using user state? So initially we have passed Avengers, right? Whenever we refresh our page, so it will come with the Avengers. Let's refresh here. So Avengers. So initially we have passed Avengers. You can search Puspa. Any movies you can search. So now when you refresh it, see Puspa. So we have passed the initial state to our input. So to track the input state, we use state input and set input. So set input will update our current input state. Now that use navigate we have imported, why we are using use navigate? First of all, we'll say so we are we have defined here that some slash path, some search results and movie results. So we have to go to this path, right? So who will navigate to this path? So in React we use navigate to navigate from one page to another page. So for that we use navigate to go from one page to another page. So this is our home page. When you search for Puspa, we navigate to the search results. You can see that the search result page. So who is doing this? Use navigate. So we are going to navigate from one page to another page, right? Now when you click on this poster, we'll go to the movie details page, right? So we are going to this page. So who is navigating from one page to another page? Using use navigate. So now we have defined a function, async function, handle submit. So whenever a user will click on the search button, I'll show you. So whenever user click on the search button, what function should happen? So here we have e.prevent default. This is the we are preventing the default submission of our form. So this is the simple JavaScript thing. So no need to explain. So here we have a search term, set search term input, right? So I'll show you. So here in our app.js we have a search term, right? Search term, you have defined a search term state variable. That search term you have passed to the home component, and in home component we are here we can see that we are using these props. Here we have passed this state as a props. We have passed this state as a props here in our home component, and we are using in home component by using these props. So here like we passed, and here to use these props we have make set search term and set current page and set total result. So this all these four props we have getting here, and we leave this. So search term. So what is search term? So whenever a user will click on this, right? So we have a search result, that is the search term, the Pushpa is the search term. So whenever user will input something here like Pushpa, so that Pushpa input will come to the search term. So now search term will update it to the Pushpa. Then whenever user will click on Avengers or type some Avengers something, so now the input will set to the search term as a Avengers, right? So according to our input, our search term will be updated. So using set search term, we are going to update, and the current page will be equal to 1. So now at home.js we are going to fetch the data from our API. So we are using await. So here using async await, right? Async function and await. So we will wait till our data is fetched. So we are using Axios library to fetch the data, and here we have is get method. So there are get, put, post, many methods. So here we are using get method to fetch data from our API. So here is the API www.omdbapi.com. So let's see our OMDB API. So search omdbapi.com, we'll get this page. So and for API key, here in the header you can see that top API key. Click on this and click on free and write your email and name and what purpose you want to use, and when you submit you will get an API key on your email, right? So this API we are going to use, and after getting the API key we have to pass the API key. So here we have passed the API key. So process.env dot react app API key, what is this? So here you can see that we have a env file, right? Here env file dot env, this is dot env, right? We have to create this in movie folder dot env. We have to create a file, new file dot env in this movie folder. After creating dot env file, just you have to write like this. Wait, I'll show you. I can't show my dot env file because in this we are going to write some secret keys, so that is not to the public user. So when you build an application, make sure to write our APIs and other secret keys and password, username in our .env file, and that .env file make your app keys protected, and that .env file always put in your git ignore. So whenever you upload your code on GitHub, make sure that your .env file should not be imported, it should be in git ignore. So GitHub should ignore, so git will ignore and it will not import it to our GitHub. So process, so how we, after creating .env file you have to write this react API key, copy. So like this, after creating .env file, like we created, clicking on this new file, create a .env file, and in this type react underscore app underscore API underscore key and equal to write your API like 756. So just write this. So after writing this, we have to write this process.env, so it will get that API key from our environment variable, and after getting with this API key, with this omdbapi.com, it will fetch the data. So on what based it will fetch the data? So on user input. So whenever user will input, so in search term we have input. So whenever user will input something in the search bar, like Avengers, so based on that it will search the data, and the current page will be 1. So what we will get in the data? So let's see in our console.log response, and let's see, come to our page and view, sorry, let's click on inspect. By right click inspect and then come to our console, clear all those things, and see here we have a Puspa, right? The user have typed some Puspa or Avengers, like we have written. When user will click, will get some data, right, from the API. So let's click. So see, in our console we get some data. You can see that we get some data, and in this data we have a search result 10, array of 10. So I have told you this is array of objects. So the search results we are getting the 10 search results, and we have a in search results. When you open at the 0 index, we have a poster, title, type, year, IMDb, ID. So let I'll show you. So copy this, paste it here, and remove this comma from above and search. So this image we are poster URL we are getting. So title Avengers. So for this, and movie here, and this we have a ID also for this movies. So every movies we have a ID, and here you can see that the total is just 154. You can see that. So this is the data we are getting from this API. So let's come to our code, and we are now set the movies response. So this response we get, in this response we have a data dot search. So we have a data, and so in this data we have open this data, and in this data we have a search. So data dot search, and then in this search we have a all these details. So data dot search will give all the movies. So we have a another, and this movies results we will show in our search result page. We'll see soon. So here now we have a set total results. So how many results we have? I show you 154 total results. So response data dot total results will be set to the total results. So here we have created the total results, right, to count how many results we have. Based on this result we are going to calculate our pages also. So now we are displaying how many. So 10 results we are going to display. So by clicking on next button you can get more 10 results. So we'll see also that, and after getting this all data we are going to navigate to the search result page. So after going to data we'll go to the search result page. So when you click, we have click on the search result, we go to the search result page, we get all this data, and the data will be displayed in our search results, right? So now we'll see our return part. So in return we have a div with flex column, direction, and then item center, margin from top 10. These are the simple tailwind CSS, and then we have a heading, right? Search for movies. So when you go to home page, search for movies heading on the top. Then we have a form. So on the form we are going to use on submit, handle submit. So whenever user will click on search, when a user will click on search, it will submit. So this function should be happen. So handle submit, this function should work. So this function will work when we click on the on submit, and we have styled some flags for our form, width, max width, right? And we have a input. So in the form we have a input type text value equal to input. So what is the input value will be there? So whatever we pass here Pushpa, that value will be in our search input. And here we have a on change set input e dot target dot value. So whenever any user is typing something like something, so it's changing the input state. So using e dot target dot value, we are getting all this value and we are updating to the set input, right? I won't change is a event, right? We are using e or event, and here we style our input box, and in the placeholder we have enter the enters movie title. You can see that enter movie title in the placeholder. Now we have a button also, that submit button, right? Search button. So button type submit, and class name means we are going to style, and search button. So in this form we are going to do this function handle submit, and what handle submit does, it will fetch the data from the API, and it will get the data, and it will navigate to the search result. You can see that using use navigate and navigate. In navigate we are going to navigate to the search result. So now our data will be placed to the search result. So after getting this data, we go to the search result page, and here you can see that we have default exported to home pages. So now we will see the search result page. So you can see that we are going to import our React and use effect from the React. So here we have a new concept, use effect. So let's write here use effect. So what is use effect? So use effect is used to call the API based on the dependency. So let's see use effect. So for the multiple type calling we use. So use effect is a React hook that's let you to synchronize a component with the external system. So external system means here we are calling API, right? So that is a external system. So from that API we are going to fetch the data multiple times. I will show you based on the dependency. Here we in use state we have this location dot state. So based on this we will fetch the data multiple time. So here these are the simple syntax setup and dependency. So connecting to external system, wrapping a custom hooks, so displaying different content on the server from and client. So we will get the main more details from this. So what is the use of use state we'll see here. So before that we are importing our link and use location. So link and use location. So the new thing is, so link I have explained you already. Now use location. So what is use location? So what is use location? So in React, I have shown you here. So here we are now. Let's search something Pushpa, right? So let's search another Avengers. I'll show you in this page. So we get that result. Now use location. What does it does? It track our state. So we are, when you click on next button, it will go to the next result page, and we click on previous one, it came to the previous page what we have done before. Let's click on this details, and we click on this, it will go to the same page from where we click and get the details. So use location usually assess and maintain the state by getting the location. So here what is the use location in React? So use the use location, access the key, path name, hash and search component to make to get track of the state. So when we are on search result page, when we click on this movie details page, and when you go to the back, it will go to the same location. How it's going? Using use location. When you click on next and previous button, it is going to the another page. Now it's going to the another page. When you come back, it will come to the same page. So it's tracking our path, keys, URL. So how is tracking our keys? When you click on this poster has some key, this ID. So it's tracking our location, at what location we are before and after. So use location, it will track our location in our application, and that is imported from React router DOM, and we have imported here Axios library to fetch the data. So here we have a search result component. In this we have a pass these props. So in app.js, before I have shown you that props we have passed. To use this, we have passed these props here, and props are some properties that we are going to use in our this component. So here we have a constant total page. So how we will calculate the total page? Math.cell. So this is used to round up our. So in this search results, I'll show you 154 results we get, right? Total 154. Where is your clear this search for Puspa? So we have a, in data we have a total is just 10, right? So we have to calculate page based on the total result. Suppose we get the total is 154 in Avengers, right? We got the 150 results from the API. So 154 divided by 10 we will get 15.4, right? But we can't say this is the 15.4 page, right? We have to make it round up. So using math.set, it will round off our point decimal numbers to the integer. So here we have a location. Use location, we are going to store in this variable location. So we'll use this use location to track which state we are, and which state we have gone, and which state we have to back. So it will see our all the location. So use effect hook to run the code and when the use location state changes. So whenever we click on this push bar, right? So now use effect will come to work in this scenario. So whenever we click on this, it go to the API, and with this ID it is calling the all the details of this poster, right? So use effect will call the multiple times from the API whenever user will click based on the state change. So when we are on this state, now we are on this state. So whenever state will change, it will fetch the data from the API. So you can see that in use effect we have uh, two. Here we have the setup and here we have the dependency. So in setup we have passed if location dot state. If location exists, if we have changed, then set current page to the location dot state dot current page. So it will change the current page state, and set movies also means it will update the movies also. So here we have a, and this thing it will work in previous and next button. So you can see that our app is responsive also. I forgot to tell you. So when you click on this next button, it will not work because we have a 10 results only, and it has shown all the 10 results. So let's search for Avengers. We have more result on this. So when you click, we click on next button. So when you click on next button, the state changes and movie is updated and current page also updated. So before the current page was 1, now the current page is 2. Suppose we have a current page 2, right? So it changing the state, right? So using use location we tracking the state, and we updating our current and page and movies. And use state depend on something. So here always write some dependency. So here you can write use location state. You can see that the location dot state, based on the state it will maintain and update this the movies and the current page, and set movies and the current page. You can see that location, set current page and set movies, these three things were passed to the dependency. So it will depend on these three things to fetch the data and maintain the state. So here we have seen that we have created an ANSI handle page change. So whenever page change, it will call the API. So here I remove the console from this. So no, let's leave. I'll show you something amazing. So let's see. First of all here. So here similarly we are fetching the data from this API using await, async await. So we are using async function here, and based on the page, here we are fetching the data. Let me see. On the event, and event, what was the event? Whenever user type something in input, based on the search, we are getting the data that is input. Based on this input we are getting the data, right? Now here in our search results, based on the page, based on the page we are going to fetch the data. Now the current page is 1, right, that we have made here. So whenever page changes, so it will fetch the data from this API, and here we have API key, that process.env react API key. Then based on the search term it will fetch the data and page. So we have a two terms, search term and page. So whenever the user will click on next button, right, whenever user will click on next button, right, it will fetch the data based on this search term Avengers only. It will not search on other movies, right? We have another movies like Pushpa. It will not fetch based on that. It will fetch on this search term only, related to the word Avenger only. It will fetch the data. And second thing, based on the current page changes. So whenever page change, based on the page change, it will fetch the data. And in one page we are getting the 10 results. So based on this, so I will show you something. So amazing thing you will see here. Yes, dot log response. So we'll see an amazing thing here. So let's open our console, clear this. So whenever we click on this Puspa, right? We fetch the data, right? Whenever we click, let's click on Avengers, we fetch the data, and the data will show in console, right? But I will show you something. I will remove this console.log from the home.js. Now we'll see amazing thing, and clear this also. Let's search for Avengers. So when you click on Avengers, you can see that nothing in the console. We not get the data, right? Why we not get the data? Because it will get the data when we search the results based on the home page. And in home page, whenever we have written console log before, when we click on this, it will fetch the data in the home page only. But in search result, it will fetch the data based on the next and previous page. Now we will click on next button and it will get the data. So you can see that in search results we have written console.log response. So whatever response will come, we'll see. So in search results, it will fetch the data based on the pages, right? Pages, and another thing is search term. So let's click on next. You can see that I clicked 3 times. Let me click one time. So I click one time. So when you click on next button, it fetch the data, and in the data we have response true. In search we have a marks Avengers on the top. So we have a marks Avengers. You can see that 9081, and we can get the same data 9081 in the console. You can see that, right? And when let's close this. This is the data that we have click on next button. When you click on previous button, it will again fetch the data. You can see that it will again fetch the data. When you click on next, it will again fetch the data. When you click on previous, again fetch the data. So based on the next and previous button, it's changing the state, right? Based on the state, it's changing the state, it will fetch the data, right? And it is not like that. Now we have, so here in the top we have this poster, right? Avengers, this the same poster, we'll see soon. So here we have this Avengers, this poster. When we click on previous button, we'll get the same state, the same poster on the top 0, right? So use location track the state. So when a state we change the state, based on the state we will update the movies. So use location is a very important thing in React when you changing a state on your app from one page to another page, or anything you are changing the location from, like changing the movie details. When you click on movie details, so this also it will track the state. And when you come to our page, so this time also use location is tracking our location, in which location we are on. And when you click on back button, it will come to the same location, right? So this is working due to the use location. So now we have a, we'll remove this console log. So now we have a set movies. After getting the response, we have to update the movie. So using set movies, response data dot search. If data will not be there, we will return using OR operator. If data will not there, it will return an empty array, and it will set the current page, right? Whenever you click on next and previous button, it will update the data, and the current page will be updated, like 1 2 3 and previous also. So In return, we are going to style our all the results and show all our results whenever we search. So in home.js we get the data, but we have no display. But we are going to display whenever click on this home and go to home. When you search, the data will display on the which page? Search result page. You can see that search result on the top bar. So in that search result page we are going to display our data. How we are going to display? So we have created a div. In this div we have a h2 tag, and in the heading we have a search result, and we have a style also, text white, text to excel size, and margin top, margin bottom. So for the search results we have writing the in heading search result for the search term. So what was the search term? We have passed the javascript. This is the javascript. In the bracket we have passed search term, right? So this search term is displaying a search result for Pushpa. So search term is Pushpa. So here is displaying Pushpa, right? So now we have a div, another div, and in this div we'll display all the movies list. So here we have a grid column 1. These are the simple CSS. So if you don't know Tailwind CSS, go and learn. And you can see that we are using map function. Why we are using map function? We'll see. So whenever we get that result, right, we get that 10 results. Whenever we click on search, right, we get 10 results. So one by one we have to display all the details. So first we'll display the whose index is 0, right? In the console we get that 10 results, right? So we have 10 results, so one by one we have to display. So first we'll display the movies whose index is 0, right? The first movie, the which movies have a some IMDb ID. And in map always use a key. In map, in React, when you are using map function, always use a key. And if in our API don't have a key, you can use index. So here using movie IMDb. So I've shown you before, console dot log response. So let's save it. Let's search. Why it's not coming? Let's refresh. It came right now. It's taking time to get the details. So go to the console, right? And in console we'll get the data, but we don't have data, more data for this movies. Search for Avengers. We have more data with this title, right? And click on next button, we'll get some data. So we have a 10 results, right? You can see that array 10, you can see that. And in this array 10 we have a total result and response is true. So in this we have a in search we have a 10 results, we have a 10 array, and in this with the index 0 it will go, my function will go to this first with index 0, this 0, and it will get the title, year, and we have a IDP also. So then it will go to the second, first, second, third, fourth. So based one by one it will go. So map function is used for that. So if you have many object, array of objects, so for that we use map function to display each data one by one. And based it will have a key also, IMDb key. So you can see that we have a IMDb key right here top. And now we have styled our div, so with the full transparent and padding right over, and these are the simplest thing you can do using Tailwind CSS. And we have a huge link, right, like anchor tag in our HTML, to where we use href in HTML, but here is to where we want to link our this. So we want to link our movie poster to which movie details, right? When you click on movie poster, it will go to the movie details page. So it will act as a link. So movie poster will act as a link. It's taking time to get the response from the data. So uh, it will go to the movie details, and while fetching the movie details, it will have a movie ID also. It has some issue while fetching the data. Let's refresh it. Search for Avengers network issue. I think we are disconnected to the internet. So now we are connected to the internet. So let's search for Puspa. So when you search for Puspa, so this image, you can see that it will act as a link. When you click on this, it will get the results, right? And it will move to this movie details page with this ID. So for that, so and it will maintain the state also using use location. So search term movies and the current page, right? You can see that when you come back, it to have the same state, right? So it will maintain the state also. So we have a image, we are getting the image. Source is movie.poster. So in console, nothing is there. Search for Avengers. So when we click on next, we will get that data, and in this data we have a this poster title and IMDb. So this thing we have to get. So movie.poster. So in movie.poster we have a this link. So when you click on this link, I have shown you before, this link, it will have this image. So it will display that image. And if don't have a image, it will display the movie title. And here are the some style for our movie image. Then we have a similarly for the movie title, display movie.title and movie.tl. And make sure to write movie.title, T is capital here, and here also the T is capital. Make sure that you are writing the uh, fetching the right thing. Capital is T, title. If you write a small, it will not fetch the data. So whatever in the API, read the API and fetch the data. And we have wrapped into our link, right? So whenever we'll click, it will go to the movie details page. Now pagination control. So here we have a div. In this div we have a two buttons, previous and next button. In previous button, when you click, it will do this function. This function will work handle page. And what handle page, that it fetch the data and update the data and set the current page, right? So when you click on the next button, so current page, sorry, it is the for the previous button, right? So for the previous button, current page -1. So when you are on a second page, when you come to previous one, we have to -1 from the current page. So if you are on second page, it will -2 1, so it will come to the one page. So if the current page equal to 1, so that time our previous button will be disabled. So when we, So let's search for Puspa. So when you search for Puspa, you'll get this movie, and is initially the previous button is disabled, right? So here you can see that we have a similarly we have a next button also, and in this next button on click, when a user will click, this function will happen. What this handle page function page change does, it will fetch the data from the API when you change the state, means current page. So next page will be current page plus 1, so it will increase our current page to plus 1, and it will disable when current page equal to total page. Suppose we have a 10 pages and our current page and total page both are equal to 10 only, that time next version will be disabled because we don't have more data, right? So for that, now we have exported our search result, right? Now come to the movie details page. So this is the last page. So what it does, when you click on any movies, it will fetch the data and it will show the details of that movies. And when you click on back, it will come to the same page. When you click, it will give the details. Click on back, it will come to the same page. So this thing we are going to build in our movie details page. So here we are importing use state and use effect from the React, and here the new thing is use params. So this is another hook in React. So we have seen already use navigate and use location. So what is use params? So like we have a URL like search results. We have seen here. When you click on this search result, we get this ID. So what use params does? So when you are fetching data from the API, so it has some ID, right? IMDb ID from that URL. So that movie poster will have also some ID. So this movie poster have some ID. This poster don't have ID, but our API have some ID, right? We'll get in URL we have ID, this movie details ID. So to fetch the data like ID, search term, we use params. You can search here what is use params. So when you search, we'll get that used to create access the multiple parameter from the website like in the same URL path. So from the URL path we have to fetch the ID. So why we are fetching the ID? So when you click on Puspa, it will fetch the details from the this Puspa only, not the other movies. When you click on this poster, it will fetch the details from this poster only. So how it's fetching? So every poster and movie has a some ID, and based on that ID, it is fetching the results, movie details, right? So how we get that ID? We'll fetch that ID using use params. So here you can see that we have fetched the use ID from the use params. So to get the movie ID from the URL parameters, right? From the URL we are fetching the movie ID. So when you get that ID, with the help of this ID, we will fetch the movie details only. So now we have a use navigate. When you click on this use navigate, it will navigate to the one page to another. You can see that we are on the movie details. Now we are on the search results. You can see that, and use location to track our location and which state we are before. So we are on this state. Now we come to this state. Now we came before the same state. Now we have a movies set movies null. So why we are setting null? So when you click on this, initially it will be null. So after getting the data, it will display the movie. So now we are using use effect. So how use effect will call the API multiple times based on the ID. You can see that we have passed the dependency ID. So whenever the ID will change, it will pass the data. So whenever we click on this, it pastes the data. So I will show you response. So here we'll write console.log. Response. So save it, come to here and inspect element, go to console, clear all this. So when you click on Pushpa, it fetch the data, right? So let's clear this and again it will come. When you click, it's fetching the data based on the ID. You can see that it is fetching the data, right? So in data we have this all the details that we have fetched, right? And we have another data also. So it's fetching the two times. So one is to maintain the state, one is to fetch the data and show the results. So you can see that, close this, we'll see here request status 200. So we get the data successfully, and when you come back it will not fetch the data. So when you click on this, it will fetch the data, right? So let's come here, and based on the ID it will fetching the data. So here we are calling the fetch movie function. So we have created a async function fetch movie, and in this function we are getting the data from this API using ID. So here we are setting the response.data to the movies. So whatever data we got, we set to this movie. So when you click on this, we get this data, and our data is displayed on the movie details page. Now we have, if we have no movie details, then it will display this loader, and for this loader we are using some CSS in our app.css. So in app.css I have written some CSS for our loader, and this CSS will show for this loader. So if our movie details will not fetch, so after fetching it will show the movie detail. So here in div we have created a button. So how our button is going to work? So we have a back button, right? So when you click on the back button, it go to the back page. So and you can see that it maintaining the same state, right? How it is going to maintain using use location. So when you click on back button, it will go to the search result page. So when you go, it is on the movie details page. Now we click on back, it will go to the search result page. So now we have this state. So in this state we are maintaining the search term and the movies and the current page. So in search term we have a location dot state, and we are using optional chaining operator. So here for the search term, so if search term not found, so for that you are using optional chaining operator. So the state will maintain with this search term, current page and movie details using use location. So here you can see that when you click and come back, it will come to the same location. Now we have some details to display like image, and some details like IMDb rating, runtime release and language awards. So these things, and finally we have exported our movie details page. So this how we have made our movie search app using React. So hope you guys like our project, subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. So thanks for watching. The source code of our project is available on GitHub. So we'll meet in next video with a new amazing project.